Pete Hegseth's Pentagon is getting ready to hand the keys to America's military secrets to an AI chatbot so dangerous that two countries have already banned it. I know that sounds like some dystopian fever dream, but it is actually true. Trump's defense secretary made the announcement this week at Elon Musk's private city in Texas and said the AI system known as Grok will be operating inside the Pentagon network. This is the same system that just this week flooded the zombie website formerly known as Twitter with AI-generated naked images of real people. It is just the latest example of how the world's richest man has become something of a shadow defense secretary who has seemingly made himself too big to fail within the U.S. military. Another way is through his other company that you might have heard of called Starlink. That's Musk's satellite system in space that can provide internet access to underserved and war-torn areas around the world. Every blue dot you see here is a Starlink satellite. There are nearly 10,000 of them in space, way more than any other company or even government. And we've already seen Musk pick and choose who gets to use Starlink and who doesn't. Last July, Reuters reported that Musk ordered a senior SpaceX engineer to cut coverage in Kherson. That was during Ukraine's 2022 counteroffensive to try and retake the strategic region from Russian occupation. Musk has denied this. And 2 years ago in Gaza, Bloomberg reports that Starlink was finally activated in a single hospital more than 5 months after receiving permission from the Israeli government. But Musk's ambitions go way beyond pornographic chatbots and satellites. His rocket company, SpaceX, is reportedly the frontrunner to build part of Trump's Golden Dome missile defense system. The Golden Dome would deploy something known as space-based interceptors. Basically, there would be satellites that hover in space that try to hit incoming enemy missiles. But the Washington Post reports they could also potentially have the ability to attack other satellites. So we do have to ask this. Do you really want this man or this man to have that much influence over the largest, deadliest, and best-funded military power in the history of the world? What do you guys think? Should Elon Musk have this unfettered access?
I don't know what's worse. Is Elon Musk having control over things, or Grok? You know, which is like sort of an alter ego for Elon Musk, which gets things. It gets things wrong all the time. It thought it was Hitler at one point. You know, it's undressing women and sometimes children. Like, I don't know that I want that technology involved at the DoD. Like, are we going to start a war with a fictional country? Are we going to start a war with a real country? There are a lot of bad things that could happen.
The technology is just not good, right? Like,
It's like it's bad technology, and he's an insane person who seems to be a white nationalist.
And now we're yeah, exactly. To your point, I mean, there was this. He had this tweet the other day about that white nationalism. Musk added the 100 emoji to a post. I think we have it, to a post that's saying, "If white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. Remember, if non-whites openly hate white men hold a collective majority, then they will be 1,000 times more hostile and cruel when they are the majority over whites. White solidarity is the only way to survive."
That, to me, I mean, obviously, there's all the sort of like national security implications of all this stuff and the fact that Grok stinks. But that's the piece. And I was so glad that you asked the Congresswoman about sort of the messaging we're seeing from DHS right now more broadly, because it's very hard, I think, as reporters to find the words to describe some of what we're seeing come out of this administration more broadly and the people that they're keeping in the fold. That is a horrific message that Elon Musk promoted to his many millions of followers. But add that into the propaganda we're seeing from DHS, the wink, wink, nod, nod stuff. I mean, the question becomes, like, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, like, is it a duck?
Or a Nazi.
Or a Nazi. I'm talking about Nazis. And at what point do you go, oh, my God, there are a lot of Nazis in this administration? And how do reporters, without sounding like they have tinfoil hats on, talk about that and try to get to the bottom of that? And you hear, and we have these conversations in newsrooms, but I don't know that we're quite yet at the point of being able to make sense of it for the American people, because it's such an uncomfortable question to ask.
Yeah. As people are being asked for their papers constantly around the country. But I think the reality is, at the end of the day, The DoD needs Starlink. It is clearly the best technology and unparalleled, no peer competitor. And he is going to be an integral part of the war machine for decades to come, given what he is able to do, his capability with space, Starlink, and then unfortunately, he also just got, he got the Grok contract. But if it's any comfort, OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, and Google all have contracts too, up to $200 million, doing research for the Pentagon on AI. So.
Amazing. I feel so much better.
That gave me so much comfort.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me just share this because I'm just going to say this really quickly. Other things that Musk has promised. He's promised to put a man on Mars by 2021. That was a fail. He, of course, promised the Boring Company 700-mile-per-hour Hyperloop. That has been abandoned. It's now facing multiple lawsuits. Tesla, full self-driving cars. Tesla vehicles would be fully self-driving by 2017. We're not there, guys. Tesla still requires human oversight. 1 million robo-taxis by 2020. No surprise, no taxis. Revolutionary high-speed transportation system. A decade later, not a single functioning Hyperloop system exists anywhere in the world. So I know that people love to think of Elon Musk as a genius. I am a person who believes it's part of the billionaire myth, that I do not think that he is a person who has delivered on the things that he is supposed to be delivering on. So,
well, he now
I'm sure we'll talk about that more.
Integrated so deeply into all of our lives, and there's nothing we can do about it.
He created some products that I unfortunately am addicted to. So who am I to judge? Sadly,
well, we'll get
not Grok though. Not Grok. Not Grok.
Thank you for clarifying.
The headline of this segment is Elise does not love Grok. Don't say that about her. Okay.